U, Sex and the City, Good Omens. Which of the following TV shows does not typically employ the use of a first-person limited narrator? U, Sex and the City, Good Omens. Now all of that binging is gonna pay off, because maybe you've seen these shows, or maybe you haven't. I've seen part of one, all of a second, and none of a third. So this would be process of elimination for me. I think I would get this one right. Pat on the back for me. I would get this one right. I hope all of you know this one. And you know what? The good news is, even if you don't know it, it doesn't matter, because I'm about to give you the answer. And dare I say, it's a good omen that you tuned in early? Yeah, Good Omens is the answer. Now, do you remember what this actually means from grade school? I'm gonna break it down for you. So, a first-person limited narrator. Do we have any grammar? Welcome to Display Trivia. Happy Monday. Did you miss me? It's World Kindness Week, so the only right answers to this question are so much and absolutely. Seriously though, I love World Kindness Week. We need more holidays like this. So I'm going to challenge you right now to do something nice for someone without them knowing. Pick up trash in your neighborhood. Maybe write a positive Yelp review for an establishment. Dare I say, tip your barista while their back is turned? What are some of your favorite acts of kindness? Tell me. Let me know in the chat. I have another one. Maybe leave a positive comment on someone's photo here on display and tap the support me button. If you have no idea what that even means, might I suggest you tune into our pre-show? It is every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right before the trivia game. I teach you how to make money on display, I show off creators' content, and I even give away a trivia answer. That's right. People who have been tuning in only have to guess on 9 of the questions tonight, because I've already given them one of the answers. The rest of you, 10 questions, 10 seconds to answer each. You gotta get them all right to win a piece of the $500 prize. If you get even one wrong, you can keep playing along, but no money for you. Also no money for you if your display profiles aren't fully set up. Now, it's time for Display Trivia. Question 1. What is the capital of Japan? Tokyo, Berlin, Lagos. What is the capital of Japan? Tokyo, Berlin, Lagos. I think I've shared this with you all before, but fun fact about me is that I actually studied Japanese for 7 years, and although I'm no longer fluent, I can still throw around a few phrases. Neko ga daisuki desu is I love cats. Shout out to Sophia. Sore wa kawaii desu means that's cute, which is always a good one for your back pocket, don't you think? My favorite? Watashi wa 21 sai desu. Watashi wa 21 sai desu. That means I am 21 years old. And I definitely never used that to sneak into a club when I was in Tokyo, Japan. Did you get it? Question 2. Justin Timberlake was a member of what boy band? Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, O-Town. Justin Timberlake was a member of what boy band? Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, O-Town. That's right, before he was an extremely successful solo artist and icon, Justin Timberlake. He was a star player in one of these bands. Not just any bands, nope, 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 boy bands. Bands made up entirely of boys. Those bands, you know the ones. Lots of floppy hair and intricate choreo, and lots of screaming girls, tons. The screams are so loud you can't even hear the music, and I think that's probably why they do all the dancing, right? Backstreet might be back all right, but JT did his time with NSYNC. Say bye-bye-bye to this one because it's time for question 3. In the contiguous United States, which is the largest state by land area? Texas, California, Alaska. In the contiguous United States, which is the largest state by land area? Texas, California, Alaska. These questions always make me wonder, how do we have such accurate measurements of land? Is someone out there with a ruler just like running across Oregon? Or do you just need a really long tape measure? Hey Nick, haven't seen you in a couple days. What's it say? Better yet, will the couch fit here? So in actuality, long distances are measured using geometry. You know, making fake triangles, solving for x, that whole thing. I like the tape measure idea better. Seems like less room for error. Speaking of errors, if you picked Alaska, well, that is the biggest state in the US, but it's not contiguous with the lower 48. Everything's bigger in Texas. Question 4. Silk is cultivated from what type of animal? Mammal, insect, bird. Silk is cultivated from what type of animal? Mammal, insect, bird. Yep, believe it or not, silk comes from an animal. And the answer might surprise you, coming up at 11. Although I love watching the local news late at night as much as the next person, I know that when I hear that line, it is time to go to bed. Whatever they're going to tell me at 11, well, if it were really so important, you'd open with it, right? No news is good news, so whatever you're putting off till 11 can probably wait. But no more stalling on my end. It's time for the cold hard facts, which are: this animal makes silk by shooting fibers out of its backside. Yeah, it's the silkworm. Yeah, it's a little weird, but they don't come to your work and tell you how to do your job, do they? Question 5. Which constellation contains the main star used for navigation in the Northern Hemisphere? Ursa Major, the Big Dipper, Ursa Minor. Which constellation contains the main star used for navigation in the Northern Hemisphere? Ursa Major, the Big Dipper, Ursa Minor. Before everyone had an extremely accurate GPS in their pocket, navigators had to use whatever tools they could find. I mean, imagine it. You're in the middle of an ocean on a huge ship at night. All you've got is a magnetic device that kind of points toward the idea north when you open it up. I'm talking about a compass, and low-key, I doubt maritime explorers actually knew how to use them either. If this is all you're strapped with, you're gonna want a backup plan. Well, look no further than the stars, a built-in navigation system. And they're not going anywhere, okay? The star most explorers used and continue to use to this day is Polaris, the North Star. Polaris is the tail of that little bear. Gosh, what's with all the animals' butts today? Anyway, follow that bear's butt. Q6. The novelty song Werewolf Bar Mitzvah is sung by what sitcom character? Tracy Jordan, Duke Silver, Robin Sparkles. The novelty song Werewolf Bar Mitzvah is sung by what sitcom character? Tracy Jordan, Duke Silver, Robin Sparkles. These are all actual fake musicians from sitcoms, but all of them produced some actual real bangers. Who says you need to be real to make good music? Look at all those animals in the Sing movies or the trolls from Trolls. All animated, but all very musically inclined. I mean, look at Gorillaz. They're an actual virtual band that sell at arenas, and none of them are real. Point is, don't let anyone limit you, okay? Okay? But there is a limit to how much you can listen to me ramble, and I think that is about now. Tracy Jordan from 30 Rock, played by Tracy Morgan, hits it big with his Halloween song, Werewolf Bar Mitzvah. Now that one's a bop. Question 7. Designer Hermes handbag for which Samantha Jones was placed on a 5-year wait list was named after what fashion icon? Kate Moss, Jane Birkin, Princess Diana. Designer Hermes handbag for which Samantha Jones was placed on a 5-year wait list was named after what fashion icon? Kate Moss, Jane Birkin, Princess Diana. These bags are arguably some of the most coveted in the world. Whoever is it, though? Whoever it is? Whoever it is. Well, this woman secured the bag. No, seriously, she was inspiration for one of the most notoriously expensive and exclusive handbags in the world. And one of these is gonna set you back about 40,000 American dollars. And that's just the floor, not the ceiling. I'll just stick with my JanSport duffel, I think. Yeah, I'm good. Or like a brown paper bag. Honestly, anything sounds better than that price tag. But you kids got this in the bag, the Birkin bag, that is. Actress, model, multi-hyphenate Jane Birkin was the inspo for this Hermes classic. Question 8. Which of the following TV shows does not typically employ the use of a first-person limited narrator? U, Sex and the City, Good Omens. Which of the following TV shows does not typically employ the use of a first-person limited narrator? U, Sex and the City, Good Omens. This was the one we gave out in the pre-show tonight, and honestly, thank you. Last time I talked about first-person narration was 8th grade, and that might be a conservative estimate. Of course, this is used in a lot of books, and it's when the narrator is speaking directly to the audience. Now, normally, the narrator can only speak from their point of view, aka first-person limited. But an omniscient narrator? Well, sometimes that's referred to as the voice of God, because that narrator knows pretty much everything there is to know about, well, everything. And the only show on this list actually narrated by God herself, played by Frances McDormand, is Good Omens. You and Sex and the City have first-person narration, but only by the main characters who are, well, a little less than godly. Q9. The type of comedy named for an instrument made of 2 thin wooden slats would be employed by all of the following performers except the Three Stooges, George Carlin, Buster Keaton. This would be employed by all of the following except the Three Stooges, George Carlin, Buster Keaton. Makes sense that you would name a type of comedy after an instrument because comedy does have a sort of musicality to it. There's timing, rhythm, cadence, tempo, and that's all before Weird Al gets his hands on the lyrics. Pretty fly for a rabbi? Genius. Weird Al Yankovic is, of course, a comedian who actually uses music as the bulk of his comedy routine, but this instrument we're referring to is not going to be a mainstay on your Billboard Hot 100s or really anything you'd hear on the radio ever. No, this instrument is the slapstick, and it has been used on stage to fake hits since Shakespeare's tenure. The only non-slapstick comedian on this list is funny man George Carlin. It's time for the final question. Question 10. The world-famous band that consisted of 4 lads from Liverpool had no members with what zodiac sign? Cancer, Taurus, Libra. The world-famous band that consisted of 4 lads from Liverpool had no members with what zodiac sign? Cancer, Taurus, Libra. It's very possible that there were other bands consisting of 4 dudes from this town in England, and probably a lot of them were really decent musicians. But unfortunately, this band knocked them all out of the water. The pool, really. The pool of liver? Yeah, that's definitely one of the least appetizing city names I can think of. Maybe that and just any town that ends in New Jersey. I don't want to dive into a pool of liver anytime soon, but doing a deep dive into the history of the Beatles is always a good time. Paul was a Gemini, John was a Libra, George was a Pisces, and Ringo? Well, Ringo's just Ringo, but Ringo is also a Cancer. And that's it! Display bees! You came, you slayed, you displayed your knowledge, and you're gonna get paid! But, and there's a but, only after you've made sure to completely set up your display profile and post. You gotta post if you want the most of what Display has to offer. Make sure to tune in to our live pre-show at 7:30 p.m. Eastern every single weeknight before trivia. I'm giving away trivia answers, talking about display tips, introducing you to cool content and people. I hope to see you there tomorrow, same time, same location in the app. Just click on that little TV icon at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll see you then. Good night.